All right, welcome back to At the Round Table with MAMLEO. I'm your host, Larry Elson, in studio with the rest of the family. To my right, Helen Ritchie is inside today from jet lag.
Flew over from Portland and Seattle.
She's like a parachute drop on. Sometimes I want to fly, and I'm like, just let me out here. I'll take a parachute. You're just flying over my house. I'm saving the drive, right?
So much closer.
Exactly. And over there to the right, yes, folks, if you're watching it, the Rhodes Scholar is here. This morning. Good morning, Brother Rhodes.
Good morning. Good morning.
The doctor is off today. Like I said, folks are sending out. They're missing him. We're trying to get him back in. I think he'll be back in. Summertime.
It's good to know that you missed.
It is.
Yeah.
They said rather be seen than viewed.
Yes.
So good. And Pastor Hobbs is over there engineering as well.
Yes,
doing a great job, sir. And then
and he's representing.
Yes.
People's Academy.
Not right. After he was MAMLEO, his layer. He's in layers of. He's like the billboard. You know how they change every 2 seconds.
Yeah, we all got our MAMLEO gear today.
It was just covered. I was undercover.
Undercover brother. The undercover brother. The real undercover brother.
I like how you did it like Superman too.
That's what I said.
Right? Like when the folks turn around.
You could be a city councilor.
What?
You know why? You could be a man of steel.
Oh, you're just coming up with those puns all morning. Larry's on fire. This is not coffee.
Yes, you did. You got me with that.
You all right over there, brother?
Wow. That was very funny. We have a caller.
Yeah. So before we get to our caller,
Let's
get to the sponsor.
Larry does have to know.
We want to thank our sponsor, The Money Store. For all your mortgage needs, get branch manager Cora Holbrook. Can call it area code 508-345-4726. That's 508-345-4726. Also want to thank Cruz Construction for their continued support, as well as MAMLEO's leadership and their members to continue to keep this on the air. And also with that in mind, Pastor Hobbs, I know we guys do a fundraiser every month. Do you have some updates on the next one? And
yeah, I'm trying to get the exact date. It's actually it's always every fourth Sunday of the month.
That makes it easy to remember.
And also always remember Cash App $BPRTV.
What's the date for the fundraiser?
I am trying to pull that up.
It's always
it's the fourth Sunday of the month. Typically, we have it up. We have a concert upstairs in the sanctuary, but it's
June 28th.
Thank you.
June 28th.
June 28th,
Yep.
and that's from 4 to 6 p.m. And it's live here in the studio, so people can call in. You can just like a telethon.
Stop by.
You can stop by.
Yeah.
You can drop off a check. Right, we're here live from 4 to 6 to raise money that we can continue to be on the air, and that's the main platform.
And every month, it's always different people.
Yeah.
It's people from the community, people with different musical backgrounds, but again, they come in to worship and praise. So. Very nice.
All right. Yep. So that's it. Again, if you want to join us here in this conversation, the call-in number here is 617-282-0685, 617-282-0685. Again, and on the line, we're welcoming back. It's been a while. Our sister, Michelle Ferguson from Hilton Realty. We're going to talk a little bit about City of Boston rental registration for landlords. I think most people don't even realize that, like as landlord, I know on property you have to have an inspection every time someone moves out. I think it's just a gift me up, a grab for the city because, it's just another tax. They just put a different package.
Tax, a fee, whatever you want to call it. It's
still
money coming out my pocket.
Exactly, going to the city coffer. I get needing to have an inspection on properties, but that should what am I paying all my taxes for? I got to pay more for them to come out. What are we doing here, folks? But Michelle, welcome back. Like I said, I know you was over there listening to the man of steel. Like I said, he's going to be running for office there for city council, or at least a politician.
Roads for city council.
Yeah, roads for city council.
I was also listening to you guys' previous conversation, and I just wanted to put my little 2 cents on that.
Yeah.
That's about all you have left after these taxes.
He is on fire today.
That was a good one.
She's spending the last of her savings. Good.
I don't know about that one. There's definitely still some issues with the police department. Like most recently, I was even I feel racially profiled. Handed something for a zone and told, oh, yeah, you were going over the speeding limit. And when I went backtrack, I was actually at the speeding limit. So you guys
always appeal.
are doing the right thing about talking about stuff like this. Another thing I'm not sure if people know about, but when you get these tickets, they can take down the points on your license, like a huge amount of points, whatever they want. And that is actually a Massachusetts registration. So I just learned this. I want to share it with my community. But just getting back to the rental registration, this is another fee that landlords are just really not ready for. I did some complaining about it.
So this is something new, Michelle? This isn't on top of the inspection?
This is something old.
Oh, okay.
But they're about to...
But they're reinforcing it.
As of July of this year, they will reinforce it. And what it's going to do is, if you look at the African-American community in Boston is sitting on tons of valuable real estate, especially when it comes to the Dorchester community. Dorchester is number one for foreclosures because they're putting our grandparents and our parents into these predatory loans still with balloon payments, with adjustable rate mortgage. And it's really having an effect on the wealth being transferred out of the black community. And the rental registration, they backtracked a little bit when I started complaining about it.
So could you explain a little bit more, Michelle, about what that is, rental? Because like you said, it's something that's coming back, because a lot of people equate it with the inspection, because this is new to me, because like you said, it has been implemented, something that would affect people like myself. Can you just put a little bit more meat on the bone on what that actually is?
It's new to everybody because, and a lot of owners aren't going to see it coming. They're just going to start accumulating fees. So what they are asking owners to do is, if you own a multifamily in the city of Boston, they want you registered so they can track everybody.
Okay, so that when they move out, they can make sure that they're getting that fee for the reinspection as well.
I have no idea. Well, I don't know if that's the reason.
So it looks like it was enacted in 2013, because you said it was old, right? The rental registration program? Yeah,
it's an old rule that they never quite put it, they never enforced it, right? But as of July, whose beautiful doggy is that? The dog's like, yeah. As of July of this year, they'll start enforcing it, and it's really going to hit a lot of the people in the lower income communities by storm, because they, like you said, no one knows about this rule. And at one point they had it on there. They took it down though, but at one point they had it on there where they would charge a fee per day. And you know, we went
$300. The fine is $300 per unit per month until the unit is registered. So
now it's per month,
and that is so that
was per day.
So that is for what is the number of units that you have to have in a building that requires you for this register? Because it sounds
it says that the city of Boston requires that every owner register their rental property with the city every year by July 1st, regardless if the unit is vacant, under construction, or renovation. The owner does not charge rent for the unit, and even if the tenants are relatives that are 18 years or older. Units do not have to be registered only if they are owned by the city, state, or federal agencies, are units in appropriately licensed rooming house, dorm, or lodging house, or are located in a property that is owner-occupied with fewer than 6 units. So then any owner that fails to register their unit is subject to a fine levied by the city of $300 per unit per month until the unit is registered.
So it's for units for...
And it used to be per day. And thank you for that, because long story short, we want, just like you guys are going to call your city councilor and tell them, look, you know, about this Hayden issue, if you guys can tack to that call about this rental registration, because the problem is it's enforceable whether that unit is vacant or not. So whether you've got money coming in, they still want that fee per month.
But
just do the math on that.
How much does it cost to actually register the apartment?
The initial registration fee is $25 a unit, and the annual renewal fee is $15 a unit, up to a maximum of $2,500 per building and $5,000 per complex. Notably, though, commercial suites are not required to register.
So, but also, I just want to be.
So you mean if I'm a big developer in the city of Boston, like all these millionaires are running around here doing, I'm not required to do it?
Commercial suites are not required to register.
You get to pay to play. So just to be clear, so Helen, because I want for what you read. So you said something about 6 units. Is it? So if you have a single family home and you're renting that out, you have to register, or you do not?
You do have to register. Yep. Yeah. Every rental property in the city of Boston must be registered each year by July 1st.
Okay.
Owner-occupied properties with 6 or fewer units.
6 or fewer.
6 or fewer units.
That means you have
do not pay the registration fee, but still must register each year.
Okay. So if it's okay.
And if they don't register, that's when they whack you with the $300 a month.
So.
And most people aren't even aware of this, and that's what they want. They're not advertising so people can get ahead of it.
Exactly.
When you get the fee is when you realize, I need.
I just want to bring this to the table. So, taxes in Boston are about $3,600 a year or more.
More.
This fee alone is about, if you go a year without knowing you were supposed to register, it's $3,600.
Wow.
And this is not, I just want to be clear, this is not a new rule.
No.
This is not a new administration rule.
This is just because they're hurting.
This is something that was there before.
They just weren't enforcing.
It.
Right. And it's ironic you said it, because I was talking to some folks, and it seems like the city is now going after people, right, with the tax, because like in certain areas of the community where they never enforced parking violations, right? Like I was talking to some folks, teachers and stuff, who park in front of Madison Park, who've been parking there forever and ever. Now all of a sudden they're getting tickets there, right?
Oh, and then also according to the FAQ that the city released, they're backdating fees too. So because the ordinance went into effect in 2013,
and they're saying if you register now, we're going to get you for all the time.
But if you own the property back in 2013, they will back charge you if you didn't register. Even if you didn't know about it, whatever it may be, but if you owned it in 2013, say you only found out today, 2026, they will back charge you 13
But now,
years.
so it's only for rentals. So if you live in there, or if it's owner occupied, then you don't have to. But if it's vacant, you have to still.
Owner occupied with 6 or fewer units do not pay the registration fees, but still must register each year.
But again, if you didn't register and they're going to go back after you, since you didn't register and it was free for you to register, now it's $3,600 a year for not registering. So again, why didn't they enforce the law? If this is the first letter I'm getting, I think I would argue that this is the first letter I'm getting.
Right.
This is my first notification. Right. So therefore, if
you
want to go backdate it, you should have sent me a note in 2013.
It's about telling them we do not want this. This is another way to foreclose on people's properties in the city of Boston.
And where do the registration fees go?
But again, I agree with you.
You foreclose on the property.
Yeah. I agree, Michelle. I agree with you. But again, on the technicality of the fact that if the state wants that money, I want them to prove that they sent me a letter back in 2013. They can't come back here and say, "Oh no, now you owe us." No, show me.
Well, this is the city, yeah.
Right.
I'm not even.
Send me a letter.
Yeah. Totally.
You sent me a letter.
A notice.
A registered letter that said
the
that.
whole letter thing. I'm on the defense level where it's like, no, you can't take our property.
No, absolutely.
And we don't want this.
Right. So this should be something that should be part of the conversation when this whole budget conversation next week.
Do you know are people getting liens on their properties because of these unpaid registration fees?
Now, if they are starting again, I would argue that the fact that the notice did not go back out in 2013.
There's definitely a legal. You know what? If we have any real estate attorneys that are listening,
and then the thing,
it's great to advise some of our.
I would like to hear the fact of the matter is like city management, like you've been talking about. How are you managing a city? It's like now you put a law under the books and you're not enforcing it. You wait 13 years to later on to enforce it, and now you want the money back that was.
I believe it's the Inspectional Services Department. At least that's who I spoke to about it. Who decided to put this out there. And I just want to reiterate, guys, there are times when you can settle for secondhand citizenship, but there are other times when you have to pedal to the metal about getting this stuff like this away.
Absolutely.
Not just, I don't like it, but no, we're not having it.
No,
and the reason why it wasn't enforced is because they realized it would be detrimental to minority homeowners, so they never enforced it. So why are we enforcing it now?
Because they've run out of money, and this is another resource for them to tap into.
Let's listen.
Okay.
Or because the real estate in Dorchester, Boston, period, is so valuable.
And they
That
want
now
exactly
it's just another way to take it.
take it away.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
again,
because if you
transfer
go
the
back to
wealth.
2013 and no one's in registering, and you rack up those fees and penalties and fines, people don't have that money to pay the city, right?
No,
And
exactly.
They'll be
Exactly. It's an instant grab.
indentured slaves
Yes.
to try to come up with the money to pay.
I have one other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, because I do. I really enjoy these conversations with you guys because you're so smart and you add a fabric to our community that is very needed. The other hearing that we attended is the National Grid hearing. And yeah, I caught a little bit of heat with that. There was a delay in my, license, but I knew it was going to happen before I did it, and did it anyways. They are about to. This is one thing that has been. They had some increasements, right?
Yeah, that's why we call them national grift. But go ahead.
But that company used to not be like that. National Grid used to be a sign of strength, and you knew you were home by the time you saw that globe. And that's what I want that company to get back to. Don't overcharge
It's
our
all about
seniors
profit now,
for
Michelle.
some expenditures that your business racked up.
Right. Or you sold it, and everybody. It's all about the shareholder.
The shareholders, yeah.
It's not about and then they know like who can go out there even with the renewable energy. Who can go out there and produce enough?
Remember the breakdown of all the fees, all the different fees that go into the bill, and how much of it is like going into, like, there was that the commercials. Remember that Healy ended up trying to do with the Munchkins about the fees, but then turns out it's like, no, like a lot of these fees end up just charging everyone for things that don't
benefit them.
Yeah.
But the thing I was going to say is, as well, is like we do understand that America, although it's a capitalist system, it's not a free market system. Okay, we are free range slaves because you can own that property.
Yeah.
But are you ever done paying for
Exactly.
it? Okay.
So Michelle, we got a caller on the line, but before we do, is there a number that people can reach out to, or anyone particular? Is it the city councilor? Is it the mayor's office that they should be contacting about this?
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, good. No,
you go.
I was saying, who should they be reaching out to? Because inspectional services doesn't, they're only the enforcement side of it, right? But the people that can change
I would not
it.
reach out to inspectional services, but if a number of us, if a good majority of us call our city councilors, there's nothing those city councilors can't help us with.
Well, the problem is a lot of they'll be like, "What are you talking about?" It's because they're in the position, like they know less about what we're discussing right now, because this isn't something that they researched.
It's a city ordinance, CBC 9-1.3. So if they need a reference, city ordinance CBC 9-1.3.
I do have word from Henry Santana that he does want to come on the show, and I've gotten his number. And
we'll reschedule him when we're doing.
He can talk about the rental.
No. We can reschedule him when we do a rebroadcast. He can show up, because at least that way we won't be wasting our time, because he won't show up anyways. But
because you've said it before.
Exactly.
Well,
he didn't show up.
There's
again,
a caller, right?
Yes, let's grab this caller. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the roundtable.
Yes, good morning, everyone. This is T. Michael Thomas from the People's
Hey!
How you doing?
I wanted to add to what your caller is talking about.
Michelle.
What you don't know is the elephant in the room is the CDC.
The what?
That
CDC.
To look into who they are, why they were created, and the properties that they.
So, T. Michael, can you, for those who don't know what the acronym of CDC is, can you explain that to our listening audience? What CDC is?
City Development? What?
Yes, the Community Development Corporation. They're the ones who owns now all those multi-unit rental properties that's been marginalizing, gentrifying, displacing. Each CDC, it's about 20-something of them, they each own 400 plus multi-unit properties in Boston. They control the narrative behind the scene out of City Hall. They fund the elected officials. So this is why when you look deep into the trenches, and today, Larry, when we meet, I will get into more details for certain legal reasons why I can't get too deep into it on the phone.
Yep.
But You have to follow the money.
I always
Those
say that.
corporations, and I don't want to name any of them, but you can look it up and see for yourself. Look at the properties they own. Look at where they get their funding, why they get their funding, all on the taxpayers' back. To better the community, but their corporate landlords. Everything, they control the narrative of City Hall. Why is
So I think
why,
he's going to something.
There's a
good.
bunch of them, though,
No,
right?
no, yes.
And I'm not afraid to. I'm going to just tell you guys what I think from a real estate point of view. Every single time, we have a number of seniors in our community, right? Estate planning, but I'm going to get into that in a second, who are being taken advantage of in these real estate deals. Now, here's the gift and the curse, right? Number one, Bostonians are learning if we don't stand together, we're going to fall for anything, right? And there's a bunch of people with money who realize in order for me to build what I need to build in Boston, I might have to own this small property that's next door so that I can tear it all down and build what I want to build, right? Now, it's funny to me how commercial units are exempt. There's the target. We're not worried about all these commercial units, y'all that are making money. No, we're worried about the small buildings so we can wipe you out. And if I sell my property, right, number one, the one reason they're taking advantage, they go after our elderly, and the elderly go into the deals with them, and then here come the home inspection. They say, oh, there's all these things wrong with your property, so instead of paying you $1 million, I'm gonna pay you $700,000 instead. And
let's jump in right there on the caller. It's important.
Go ahead.
What's your name, Michelle?
Michelle Ferguson. Yeah, you guys are supposed to.
You guys
Did you connect us, Larry?
Yes.
Rhodes has already put that together.
I put that text together.
Yeah.
That's yes.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
But I want to add to what she's saying. There is certain ways how the CDC work together with Department of Housing, Mayor's Office for Housing, and 1010 Mass Ave to obtain those properties. But that's information I want to share with you offline. But they use certain methods.
I'm not just
to get
talking about the
possession of
CDCs, though, because there are CDCs that do the right thing in our communities, and there are times when I prefer them than the heavy developers. What I'm talking about is these systematic ways that are not going to benefit Bostonians and us standing up for, like, the fact that we don't want them, because if we can stand up together and say, listen, we don't want this rental registration. We don't want the national grid bills increased. We don't want, these two things, then it kind of puts a staple in the community, and it's like, yeah, you can go, if you're going to have us rental registration, why are you excluding all these huge buildings?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the same
That
reason
would
why,
bring enough
Michelle,
money.
why when they had the tax increases, they devalued their property and their taxes went down because they're the ones who have the big purse, right? They're the ones who pay for. This is where it says
they have a voice. They have a
because they
seat
have
at the
access,
table.
right?
Yes.
But this goes back to what we're saying is
Campaign
that
donations.
unless we go down there with a voice of really the issues are one thing, but saying we will unelect you next year.
Yes.
Right? If these things are implemented, rather than just talking about this problem, they just know that no one is talking about jeopardizing their seats, right? That not their seats, the seats that belong to the public, and saying you're going to lose your job. We've had enough. See, that's the approach I think you need with this, rather than, well, what are you going to do about this? They're not going to do anything about it because they know nothing about it. You have to spoon feed them, saying, look, guess what? You won't be here next year, so your replacement will be dealing with this problem. And once people start seeing that the citizens are serious about removing them from these offices, then they'll be more receptive to the public rather than to these these big corporations that donate they donate tens of thousands of dollars unlimited, and we're taxpayers. They claim when it's election time they're there to represent us, but we know who they really work for.
Correct, Larry, and that's my point. They
funded.
Go ahead, Michelle, and then T. Mike, I'll let you follow up with her.
Thank you. I just want to point out, like, whenever there's this type of thing, I feel like we as a community need to start organizing. Like, it'd be nice if we had a list of people who grew up in Boston. We just form our own thing. And, we speak as one voice when it comes to issues like this because it's our parents who are going to have to pay these fees. It's our parents who are going to have to choose medication or registration.
So someone just sent me, right? They said, so if you based on they're listening to the show, they're saying based on the numbers, so if it's $300 per month for the past 13 years, if you haven't registered, you owe $46,800 to the city of Boston. That's probably without
that's
the
without fees and
penalties.
and penalties.
So we got to put a class action suit to stop this.
So
the
you're already
organized.
No class. Well, if y'all got time to pay attorneys, I'm just saying we stop this. We get together and we made sure city councils hear our voices on this issue, and we don't want it. Period.
Right, but Michelle, how many times have we said we don't want something, and it gets ignored, and then these people don't pay a price for it, so they it's just noise to them. That's what I'm saying.
And you also just had a bunch of them reelected.
Look, people said,
as of 2020.
For example, people said they didn't want this tax increase. Not only did we get it, and in the next year they said you'll have another, right?
I think the way we got to do it is similar to how you've been hearing on the news about Trump getting people primaried and getting them out fast. We got to figure out a similar strategy.
They have more fear from us than they do of
you got to get. They actually fear their jobs as politicians,
right? But they don't. They have no respect.
But that's because
we don't hold them accountable.
So
we do.
I think that's a valid statement, and we have to start holding people accountable.
Exactly.
The one last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is the estate planning, because there are a number of attorneys swarming our community after our elders talking about estate planning, and what they do is they're overcharging them for estate planning.
Right.
And
So
I don't
Michelle,
agree with that.
before you go into that, I wanted T. Michael to be able to respond to what we were just discussing. Go ahead, T.
Thank you. One of the angles that they've been using is they inflate the prices and the bill. They run up the bill, and when the homeowner, especially the elderly, cannot afford to pay that tax, then ISD and all of those folks comes in, finds them, takes the property away from them, and turns it over to these certain developers. That is part of the trail that they've been doing.
No,
I feel like ISD needs to be like one of the places, where this is all taking place is ISD.
Inspection
ISD,
services.
The fashion in which it's happening is one of the obstacles.
Do you think that there's something where inspectional services is somehow violating like an ordinance or a policy or a procedure somewhere where they're doing some of this where it's just kind of behind closed doors, or is there some way that people can...
I wouldn't go as far to say behind closed door, but it's very unthoughtful, right? I drive around the community all day long. I'm in my car for most of the day, right? And when I'm driving around the community, I'm seeing fines, owners being fined because their lawns aren't cut.
I see what you mean. Like they're finding these little
just
ways
like
to kind of death by 1,000 cuts kind of situation.
For the snow, right? And they know you're not going to be able to pay it. And then
but here's the thing: it's on the larger lots. I'm not stupid.
Right.
It's always the larger lot.
Right.
So I put my head together, and I talk with these owners all the time. They flag me down while I'm driving through in my car, and they say, "Niche, look at, this is going on, this is going on. Can you go and talk to somebody?" You know why they want me to go and talk to somebody? Because they don't feel comfortable being in a line of fire.
Right. Yeah.
They know they got a property. They know they got the ticket. They're not going to go downtown and complain.
They know they're going to have a target on their back.
They get 10 more tickets.
Or maybe what we organize too is, I don't know if you've seen online where like people will go around and actually help each other out with their neighbors and help to cut the grass or landscape. Yep, go ahead.
Yes, I know 3 individuals who it has been done
the video
to.
Just went out.
They stalked their property, fined them, and then they couldn't pay the bill, and they took the properties. For me personally, I'm on a dead end, and I had certain funding coming in for my program. To delay it, this is important. To delay that payment for 30 days, the city fined me for illegally storing trash, which was, and I can prove it, I have my receipt, they I have a trash can on the sidewalk on the dead end. I sweep it. So folks put the trash in there, not on the street, but they wanted to delay my payment to intimidate me. Wow, crazy.
Right.
Eh?
So listen.
They fined me and said I was illegally storing
Right.
trash for having a trash can, which I have done since I was a kid living on that same street.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is, this is why we have some of the. This is why they don't want this radio station to be here. You know, we have some of the best listeners, some of the best guests, right? So this is another text and receiver says, "Good morning, Larry. I'm listening to the show. Great show. I agree to your point. It has gone beyond raising concern with city councils. They feel no pressure that they won't be reelected, and they act as if it is an automatic. They become tone deaf to our concerns. They'll have a hearing, but will do everything that is aligned with the mayor. At the recent hearing a lot of people voiced their concerns protecting the youth, veterans, seniors, immigration, and only a few councilors were present to hear it. These councilors, as one citizen claims, they're cowards. They're more fearful of the mayor Wu, like with Trump, than doing the work that they have been sworn to do as elected officials. They don't care about offending us. They just don't want to offend the mayor. And until that blatantly goes checked, they will continue to hear people, but do exact opposite. Again, the will of the residents this time must stand up and vote them out. And this is what I'm saying, is that
So,
you can go down to
just
city
gonna-
council and complain all you
I just
want.
want to add this because the lights just went out where I am.
Go ahead.
So I'm
See,
gonna have
National
to
Grid
go
heard you
to-
talking about them.
National Grid heard you.
They found you.
Yeah, they found you.
We're special
They're like,
services
"We
could have wired
know
something.
her." Finally, wasn't it? I just want to touch you guys before I have to go.
Okay.
I just number one, I am very cognizant of when things happen and where they happen.
Yeah.
And this particular rental registration happened in ISD.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, the pressure needs to go to the mayor.
Well,
so
this
she can take care
but
of
this
it.
is
But you got to make her
But-
care about it.
But I'm just going to be real.
Right.
I'm just going to be real. This is not. It's not like. This is not Mayor Wu's administration who came up with this.
no,
rule.
it's not. But
This
they're
is
the
an
ones who are.
old rule.
But here's the thing:
But
all the other
she has the
mayors
influence,
saw
the
it,
buck stops with her.
and
Right.
they
And we need to
decided that it
push.
wasn't a good idea to enforce it, right? So
Right.
her
And we
administration
need
is
to
the
push.
one that is saying, because what they're doing, I feel they're going to all of these departments, especially the ones that assess fines and fees, and saying, what is in there that you guys can, like with traffic and parking, we need you to increase the make because that's revenue for the city, right? So they're
Can
going
I
to
tell
all of
you,
these
if
places.
they were after money, I just want to. I'm sorry to interrupt
No.
you. If they were after money, they would have just taxed the commercial buildings. They are not. After
No,
money.
because
No.
see, there's a
After
price.
property.
No. I disagree with you, Michelle. Because
They're
if they
after property.
if they were because those folks will push back and they won't be getting these donations. That's why they're not
The
going
lights
after
just went
them.
out again, guys.
Yeah.
No, but but I think, but I like
I think it's
Michelle.
funny.
Well, no, Michelle, don't you think there's like an ulterior motive in reasons why they're going after them?
Yeah, but also
I think
Michelle,
the ulterior motive
I
is
want
the
to.
property.
Yeah, I go
Can
ahead.
you say that again, please?
I said I think the ulterior motive
Yeah.
is the real estate property
Abs-
to
Absolutely.
take control of the real estate
Yeah.
property, and if they get control of these smaller properties,
Mm-hmm.
then like look at New York. Look at what took. If all we got to do is look to our sister city.
Yes.
And if you look at that city, you'll see there were properties that were so small that were lost. Okay. I gotta run.
Okay.
But just one more
All
thing
right.
before I go.
Can you just finish that thought? Finish that thought
Planning.
about New York, about the properties that were so small.
Well, when you really look at it, when you really look at the situation, you see that those smaller properties, in order for the bigger ones to go there,
Yeah.
first you have to clear out the smaller properties.
Yeah. Right.
That's the main point.
Yeah.
And I am literally locked in this building now.
Okay.
Oh no.
All right.
Be safe.
Yes.
I am, but before I go, or somebody tries to take me out, I just want to touch this estate planning thing.
Yeah.
When
Yep.
it comes to estate planning, our seniors are giving their properties away.
Ray. Yep.
And I warn you, it is important to deal with black-owned businesses because we will block for you. Whereas if you call those other businesses, they are going to do what's good for their community.
No,
if you're going to give that property to that person for $700,000, why wouldn't you sell it to someone in your community for $700,000?
Because some folks always think the ice is colder on the other side. Michelle, we know you've got to run. We've got another call. I don't know if you want to take this call before you go. Or
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
I do.
Yeah. So, do you want to take the call or you have to run?
I want to take.
Oh, okay. Let's call her. Good morning. Welcome to the round table.
Good morning. I have a question for your guest.
Yes.
And my question is, she said something about cooperation or getting together. My question to her is, how is that going to benefit me? Because I'm not doing it for nothing, no?
When you say you're not doing it for nothing, you mean
like
cooperate?
Say like I'm going to join her organization or whatever. How would that going to benefit me in terms of making myself better or try to help me in ways, positively speaking, to help my community be where it needs to go?
So I can tell you this, sir. I very often, I don't know if you're a man of faith or not, but I'm a woman of faith, right? And very often I stand up and I do the work that needs to get done. And I don't do it with something as like, oh, what am I going to get for it? I do it just because God puts it in my heart to do it. You kind of have to gauge yourself and see if God is putting it in your heart. But I can tell you this, over the last year or so, I've done a number of things to stand up for my community, and as a result, I've received tons of blessings for it.
Yeah. Well, to that point, Michelle.
I'm not saying I don't go through. Let me
Go ahead,
just get it out.
sure.
I'm not saying I don't go through obstacles like everybody else. It rains on the just and the unjust.
Yeah.
But when I tell you the blessings outnumber any obstacles, I'm speaking real truth to you.
And to just to back up what you're saying is that all of us got up this morning, right? We came here, Helen Rhodes, Dr. Pat Hobbs, Dr. Bradley, when he's here. We don't get paid to come here, right? MAMLEO and our sponsors, so we can keep this going, right? So that's the unselfishness, because we know that there is value to bringing people like Michelle and others here for our community. That's the payment for me, is helping out our others. So I kudos to what you're saying, Michelle, and I definitely support that, because that's the mentality that we have to have. It's not about what's in it for us, but how is it going to make it better for the rest of us?
And what's in it for your children's children?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Sometimes you got to take one for the team, but your children's children will reap those blessings.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just say this for everybody who's out there owning property. When you sell and you know you have more than one child, and you're like, oh, they're going to be straight. I'm going to sell this house, this property that's at least worth $1 million. I'm going to sell it, and they can just split the proceeds.
Not
you are leading those children into a fight when you die.
Right. Well, and by the time they pay all the fees and everything, there's nothing left for them anyway to fight over.
Yeah, the attorney fees that they go through, the attorney
probate and all that. Yeah.
So again, I would talk to the children and talk to the parents to learning about a trust, about establishing intergenerational wealth, making sure that property stays in the family for generations to come as it becomes an income-producing property.
Exactly. T. Michael, are you there before we let you go? Because I know.
Yes, I am.
Go ahead. We'll let you your final thoughts.
Yes. The caller Michelle is right, and that's the point I'm saying. And I want to meet with you guys to show how they rigged the system in order to scoop up as much of the properties as possible. But the culprit behind it is those same big corporate landlords, those big owners of those properties. So, a couple of things.
Well,
Larry, I will be short.
I'm gonna be real with
Thanks, T.
y'all, right?
Yeah.
I lost my aunt last year. I lost my dad last year, and then right when the new year hit, I lost one of my great aunts. Right? When you look at the wealth, like between all of them were property owned, all of them. So there's a shifting that's happening right now, right? We have our seniors who are gonna retire. They need to retire. They're tired. They don't want to deal with it anymore. We need our generation to step up to the plate and say, listen, I can do this.
Yeah.
And if we have that, that's why I do want us to we should definitely meet for lunch.
Absolutely.
You know,
Well, I think, have you toured the People's Academy?
Extended.
Have you toured the People's Academy, Michelle?
I have not.
Okay, so we need to make that happen and then kind of, put
But
that
I don't
together.
think is People's Academy high schoolers because I'm more.
No. See, he's operating this out of some. Matter of fact, I'm going there when I leave here.
Okay.
He's operating out of his home to this training program, and I think when you see it, you'll understand why he's been pushing so hard for it, right? Because it's in a very affluent neighborhood of Dorchester, off of up in the Savin Hill area, where he could be getting way more for rent than he is using the space for training. And so something like what you're just talking about is going to affect him because it's a 3-family home, and he's not gaining any profit from it per se. But now he's going to have to spend this money.
And also with all the taxes and fees and everything else.
No, but as
There's a big thing about our generations even surviving now versus.
No, but again, as Michelle said, let's kind of like refocus and making sure it doesn't happen. Like let's nip it in the butt now.
This is right, but also this is where what you do is so important with the financial literacy, right? Because growing up for a long time, home ownership was something that was not attainable by, so it wasn't something you needed to talk about because you were renting. You just, the apartment, if the landlord was allowed you to stay in there after the person passed away or whatever, but there was nothing of that. You didn't go to probate for that. But we're dealing in a different arena now, but we're not taking the financial responsibilities.
But again, it's also a mindset, because the idea that you can pay rent but you can't afford to buy the place, that's not true.
No, I'm not saying. No, that's not what I'm saying, brother.
I'm going to be real with you guys.
Yeah.
I've rented, I've owned multiple properties at the same time. I also am in love with certain rentals because the owners do such a great job of keeping up the property. I just want to be transparent with you guys. Whether you're renting or you're owning or whatever it is you're doing, you can still play in this game.
No, you can't. But I guess
you can still say, because guess what? Once somebody owns all the properties. They just had Century, I forget which one it was, but one of the real estate companies just brought out 5 of the top 5. They own 5 of the top real estate companies. What that does is now, if I'm the main owner, I can set a mandate, and all my employees have to follow that mandate.
Right. No, I guess what
I can say, I can say, I'm no longer willing to take 5% for the sale of their homes. From now on, 6 to 7%. And every single week they call trying to buy my company.
No, I agree. But I'm saying, I guess, Michelle, what I was trying to say is that it's right, whether rent or own, but that wasn't even something that was attainable, right, growing up. Like, my mom didn't rent. I was one of the first in my family to own a home. So that conversation didn't take place, right, of who is going to transfer it to or what is the legal or, financial, right. You think you could just leave the home to someone again, and not understanding.
Think about all the immigrants. My parents are immigrants, like non-English speakers. This is their second language. They go through the hardship of actually becoming a landlord, an owner, and then after they realize that their family is not going to benefit because they didn't know about the estate plan, they didn't know about probate, they didn't know about the will, the trust, and these are things, again, it's a setup from the get-up. Right. Why aren't you educating people even in high school? Like I've spent my entire scholastic career in this country, right? All right, and not once did someone ever mention these things. You hear them on TV.
They'll give you shop class, home ec, but not financial.
No, but these days they don't give you shop or home ec.
If you're gonna trust an attorney, a complete stranger, and you're gonna go and you're gonna pass away, and you're gonna say, okay, well, you take care of everything when I pass away. Right. Why would you trust that person?
Right.
No, sit your kids down, have a conversation. This is who is going to get the house when I pass. This is who is going to get X, Y, and Z when I pass. Let it all be
but again, put it in writing and make it legal.
Yes, it should be in writing.
Well, I would say, right, an oral agreement is worth the paper it's written.
Put it in writing and make it legal. But let them know, too, because
absolutely.
Is after you're gone, the attorneys realize, oh, crap, the kids don't know.
But you also have to have them. There still needs to be some sort of the legal documentation. It has to be notarized. You have to have something drafted.
Give a copy to your kids. Why?
Oh, actually, there is a program out there. I think MetLife. I remember they were doing free wills and estate planning for a little while there. There's like a little program that.
Careful with the word free.
Right.
Because you see what I'm saying?
Right, that's to get you in.
Careful.
Right.
And then there's a bunch of fees that their companies charge upon your death. Just be careful. So, you got to really...
I want to go back to Ditko. I want to see if he's had any change of movement or anything based on what he's heard from Michelle and us. Dick, are you still there?
Yeah, everything sounds very educational and productive, and I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I'm thinking logically.
Yeah.
I gotta keep stressing this. The next logical step is action. We can talk and do all this stuff, but without that action, everything y'all said, it falls on deaf ears.
So share with us your action plan.
Yes, please.
Share with us your action plan so we can at least try to move in the right direction. Like I said, Jamal said we're not gonna all be on the same page, but what plan do you have that can help us with getting across the finish line?
That's right.
First and foremost, do the research.
Okay.
I'm not talking about like quick research. I mean, study the history of why we're in this mess to begin with. Once that's established, the next action plan is to make sure that when you write down the will, do all the legal stuff. Don't, and I gotta stress this enough, do not hold anything back. Make sure it's completely everything from down to the single dotted line. Who gets what? Because if you don't do that, we see this time and time again. We have family members who fight, relatives who come out of the woodwork saying, "Oh, I know your family member this, that, and blah blah blah, and I want a piece of this and want a piece of that." No,
I tell people all the time.
Make sure that everything is down to the nitty gritty.
Right. No, I tell people all the time, right? You know, all of these entities are businesses, even funeral homes. I tell people when you go to a funeral home and the first thing they say, "I'm sorry for your loss," they're not talking about your loved ones. They're talking about what they're getting ready to get out of your pocket. Okay, so okay, that's. I'm just being real, right? That's
there's a lot of planning.
That's the
lot. Planning. You gotta be prepared.
All I gotta say is, anyone and are listening, as long as you're listening, just remember this: legally, you do not have to buy the coffin from them. You can order your coffin online,
and that just changed recently. So, Michelle, before we let you go, what
I love y'all.
right? You gotta have a
Can I say one final
Sure, go ahead. Great show.
It ain't over yet, brother. It ain't over yet. We got some time.
Larry's gonna have his comment.
I love y'all, but I got to go.
Michelle, we love you.
Michelle, thank you.
Yes.
Michelle Ferguson, Hilton Realty. We'll talk soon.
Yes.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
T. Michael, go ahead, brother.
Yes, no, what I wanted to say that one final thing that for those, the People's Academy and its team has that land on the corner of Quincy and Warren.
Yep.
We have raised the funds ourselves because the city and state refused to help us. The only thing now is for them to get out of our way and let us build our school peacefully without any legal ramification and going through all the nonsense. Because there's no reason why we're not asking them for their money. We're simply saying is stop obstructing us.
Well, see, what you're trying to do is empower people. You're trying to empower people, and that doesn't work with them because they need people dependent on the system that doesn't work for them, and that they can't figure it out.
And I was going to say too, like like he says, get out of the way, but they can rezone, redistrict. They can do their whole thing.
Well, remember all the stuff they used to pull with the MAMLEO building,
right?
And, like,
it's still doing it.
Yes, still
doing
play
it.
With the
we got
fines.
And charging him now for taking care of garbage in his neighborhood.
When you're trying to make things better. It's not as if you're dumping garbage on the sidewalk.
But
you're trying to make it better.
But if you're not on the team, so.
Well, I would say this one thing: great show, and I will be listening. Thank you.
All right, T. I'll see you soon, brother.
But here's actually some breaking news. Actually, that city-funded Trans Period Pride event got canceled after all the press and voices were heard because there was bad press about it. People went all over social media about it. And then they were talking about how money was being spent.
It's just like Trump wanting to,
it got canceled.
They put stuff out there, and they feel like people will just say, well, there's nothing I can do. They've done it, right? And when people come together, they find out, just like with the immigration in Minnesota and other places, just like with Trump wanting to pay out all this money for these people who committed these crimes, right? And then there was a pushback. That the
state is paying. Yeah. Look at what Massachusetts spends. You're paying for people who illegally come into this country. You're paying for their rent, their board, their food, their housing, their furniture. How many people in in the city are struggling to pay their bills, but yet all these millions and millions of tax dollars are going to people to pay for free rent and housing and food and everything else.
I'm not sure.
Right, because a lot of people aren't entitled to it.
No, but again,
we have people living on the
Dicka,
streets.
thank you, sir. Appreciate you. All right.
I just want to make that final point that they never teach you how to file your taxes in school.
I filed my own taxes.
No, but they've never taught. Have you ever taken a class and how to file tax?
I'm just using accounting.
And then it's funny. It's funny in civics class. How come they just make everyone register to vote right there in civics class?
That's a great idea.
You know, if you get your license.
All right, let's grab this call because we're running short on time. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the round table.
Yeah, good one. I know you're closing out the show.
Yes, we are.
Yep,
and you're the closer.
There you go.
We know that the Wood administration's their bullies.
Yeah.
Just like the Trumps.
Yeah.
Just like Menino. That's where she got it from.
On this coming Saturday, the 6th of June, we've got the 39th annual Malcolm X Memorial Awards breakfast. It's more than just.
How come I'm not on the?
Where?
I'm not a recipient.
Exactly.
You only got a few minutes. Date, time,
the MAMLEO
location.
broadcast. No, the MAMLEO broadcast is a recipient, and then you want free advertising? No, go ahead. T.
No, but anyhow,
Larry's going to be the MC.
It's a protest because the theme is encountering anti-black racism at Boston City Hall. So we're not doing it just to do a breakfast. We're sending a message. And we
what time Saturday?
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock. You can go to blackinfonow.org.
8 to what time?
8 a.m.
We don't.
Not 8 p.m.
8 to 11 o'clock.
Okay.
And
because
speaker is City Councilor Julia Mejia.
All right, because the show.
Where's it going to be at?
It's going to be at the Thelma Burns Building at 575 just for this year because we're planning to go back to the Reggie Lewis next year.
575 what?
Warren Street.
Warren Street, okay.
The old Sky Cap, right? Is that?
That's it, yep.
Okay. I know I'm showing my age, but Siddiqui responded right away, so he knows.
Watch out.
June 8th?
575 Warren Street. Yeah, okay. We'll figure it out.
575. So, again, what is it for? It's
Malcolm X breakfast.
39th annual Malcolm X Memorial.
Now, is this a free event, or do people...
Wait a minute. Now we don't have that kind of budget.
No, I was asking because I want people to show up. Well, we can't put the price on the air, but we just.
How do people find out? Do you have a website?
Exactly. I can't. Go to blackinfonow.org or else
what is it?
We'll be selling tickets at the door.
What is it? What's the website?
blackinfonow.org.
blackinfonow.org.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
All right, Siddiqui. We'll announce it again. If you send me the information, we'll announce it again next Saturday.
I'll send it to you and the deputy.
Okay. I'll have to go through
MIZZ.
Yes. Exactly. No, I'll take a look in my inbox there.
Okay.
All right.
And then,
Thank you, sir.
And then the idea of turning Juneteenth into a national voter registration kind of initiative is picking up steam.
Okay.
Yes. So
you should just keep putting it out.
We're gonna have a table there.
Yeah. So talk to your boys in Indiana. We'll talk to people in Seattle. We're gonna talk to people on all
That's actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah, the red mark because it's a holiday. Why not make sure people go out and make sure they're registered to vote that day?
Yeah.
Instead of the barbecues are great and everything, but come on, folks.
Well, look at what happened. Even with this whole trans pride period thing that
Helen,
whose office funded it for $1 million.
No, you don't.
I know, right? It's
when you say trans, what do you say?
It's like trans pride period.
Right. That you don't think about. What
I know. But that's my point. And who spent $1 million? $1 million of taxpayer money towards this. Think about it.
Trans pride
I know. Think about it. Think about it.
That's what. Yeah, it puts a different mind. What are we talking about here?
But because of
biology,
the outcry and the people questioning it on social media and in the news, it got canceled, and it's now starting to trend nationally. It tells you how people are like, what in the world is going on here? You have people living on the streets, not being able to afford their electric.
Tupac said we have money for wars, but we can't feed
the baby. Yes, and that's the thing. But let's not fall. Let's again. I just want to make sure that we don't fall into the argument that we're pitting one group.
We're out of time, Dr. Bradley.
I'm talking about funding things.
Be blessed.
Everyone, register to vote.
And be blessed.
Stay safe out there.
Oh my.
This is for the dreamers. They say I am a dreamer. 'Cause I still believe that anything is possible as long as you work hard. Hustle real hard. if I never see ya, never get the chance to meet ya. No, I came up from the bottom, always rooting for the underdog.
I wrote 300 songs in 1 year, Boogie will tell you I'm on it. I got unreleased songs for days, they don't want it. Eat any MC in the game, it ain't a challenge. If your music reflects who you are, then you's a coward. I can see through the lies you ain't living what you spitting. If your money's so long, why your dog's in prison? Why your baby mom's stripping, why your mom's still living in that same broken home that you used to sell piffin'. You ain't gotta lie to me to sell me a track. You ain't gotta rock fake jewels or walk around strap. I respect artists getting money, but love them for spitting crack. And the fact that one track can move a family out the trap. It's a dream for us lost souls brought up in the mix. I'm motivated by the artists coming out in my midst, and the artists that paved the way when I didn't exist. Music's a skyscraper, I'm just trying to add a couple bricks.
This is for the dreamers. They say I am a dreamer, 'cause I still believe that anything is possible as long as you work hard. Hustle real hard, hustle real hard, hustle real hard, hustle so if I never see ya, never get the chance to meet ya. No, I came up from the bottom, always rooting for the underdog.